Welcome back, little bear cubs. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about the relationship between arcs and angles. Now, if you remember in your last lesson, bring your eyes over here, we were talking about the relationship between this angle right here. Oh, let me get my pen going. This angle right here and this arc. And if you were paying attention, you would remember that the angle, if we say the angle, is equal to the arc divided by 2. So if we know that the arc is 10 degrees, we just divide that in 2 and we know this angle is 5. And this is only when the vertex is on the circle. Now we're going to be moving on to a new lesson and we're going to be looking at 3 other situations that can occur. The first one's going to be this guy right here, if you take a look. It's what happens when we have a vertex inside the circle. So if you look, we have 2 secant lines and they create 2 vertexes. We would say there's a vertex here and a vertex here. What we're going to be talking about is what's the relationship between that and their arcs, which is mya and mya. Let's get into it. So let's take a look. We have this formula right here. The vertex is, if the vertex is on the inside of the circle, we know this to be our formula. The angle on the inside, these are our inside angles over here, is equal to the intercepted arc 1 plus the second intercepted arc divided by 2. Now, I know that gets a little tricky, so let's actually take a look at an example. In this problem, we're trying to find the measure of angle AEB. That is our mission. So first, let's even find out where is AEB. Well, let's go. We have angle AEB. So that's this angle right over here. Now, what we know is that this angle's measure is going to be if we add the intercepted arc 1, so this is the intercepted arc on one side, plus the intercepted arc on the other side. If we add these two numbers together, 139 and 113, and divide that by 2, that's going to give us our angle. So once again, we're going to rewrite our formula. Angle equals arc 1, which is 139 degrees, plus arc 2, which is 113 degrees, divided by 2. So if we want to find out what angle AEB is, we just add those two together. So that's 252. So 252 degrees divided by 2. We do the little magical math on that one and we get 126. And that would be your answer. So angle AEB would be equal to 126 degrees. Just add them, the 2 intercepted arcs divided by 2. Alright, let's take a look at the second example. In this example, we're trying to find the measure of angle ABD. So, let's try to find out where ABD is first. First, ABD. ABD. So that would be this angle right over here. Okay? So to find AEB, we just have to rewrite our formula. We know that our angle is equal to, now always write your formula out first, it'll help you out. Arc 1, which is the intercepted arc 1, which is 65 degrees, plus the other intercepted arc, which is 37 degrees, divided by 2. So that would tell us that our angle is equal to, well, if we add those together, we get 102 divided by 2. And if we do the math on that, 102 divided by 2, the angle will equal 51 degrees. And that is it. 51 degrees. Now you think you're done, but you're not. If you look on the other side, remember these are vertical angles. So if I know what this angle is, it's simple enough to fill in this angle too. So just remember that. If this is 51, we know this is also 51 because they're vertical angles. I could also say the same for this guy. So if the top angle is 126, this is also 126 because they are vertical angles. All right, let's keep moving on to our next example. Yeah. Okay, this is an algebra one, okay? So it's the same exact idea. We're trying to find out what x is, which is right over here. And all we know is that we have a vertex on the inside of our circle. Well, how are we going to solve this? Well, first let's always just start with rewriting our equation. Now I want to make sure you guys are also rewriting your equations, so whenever you're doing problems, write the equation. So we know the angle is equal to arc 1, so I'm just going to say arc 1 plus arc 2 divided by 2. What we're going to do is plug in, okay? So our angle, which we know is 60 degrees, we're going to say our 60-degree angle, we just plug that in, is equal to our arc 1, which is this, 5x plus 15, plus our other arc, which is 55 degrees, and divide that by 2. Now, how do we solve this? I know it gets a little tricky from here, but let me tell you, the first thing I want to do is get rid of this 2. I hate this 2. I want it out. It makes everything so complicated. So the first thing to do is multiply both sides by 2. And when you do that, what happens is that goes away. Those cancel out. And all you have to do is multiply the left side by 2. So when I do that, I get 120, because I multiplied 60 by 2, equals, these 2's cancel out, 5x plus 15 plus 55. From here, you solve it, and you know what? I'm not going to do it for you. I'd like to see that you guys solve it on your own. Also do the question underneath this by yourselves. Okay, we have 2 more to discuss. Let's talk about this guy right here. In this situation, if you look, this is what happens when you have a vertex on the outside of your circle. So we're going to be discussing how do we know the relationship between the arcs and the vertex, this angle and the arcs that are intercepted. Well, if the vertex is outside the circle, the formula is given as follows. To find the angle, which is the angle created by these 2 lines, to find the angle, you do the intercepted arc 1 plus the intercepted arc 2. Where are these intercepted arc? Well, these 2 intercepted arcs are actually these. So if you take a look at me, this is the intercepted arc 1, right? So these 2 lines make this arc right here. That's our first intercepted arc, okay? The other intercepted arc is the arc on the outside of these 2. So if you see here, there's another arc on the outside created. Those 2 arcs subtracted from each other divided by 2 will give you your angle. So let's look at that. If we're trying to solve for x, which is our angle is going to be the intercepted arc 1 minus intercepted arc 2. Now let me be clear. The intercepted arc 1 should always be your bigger arc, okay? This always has to be the bigger one, okay? So if I'm looking at my 2 arcs, 274, I have to figure out which one is the bigger one. Well, 274, yeah, it's the 200. So my intercepted arc 1 is 200 degrees. My second intercepted arc is 74 degrees. So if I subtract these 2 and divide it by 2, that will tell me what my angle, or x, is going to be. So we just do our math after we set it up. 200 minus 74 is 126. Oh, whoa, oh, what happened there? 126 divided by 2, and our angle therefore is going to be 63 degrees. So this x, what we're looking for, is 63 degrees. Let's take a look at our next one. Same idea. If you look, the vertex is on the outside, okay? Now this is a little different. We're finding this x, which happens to be the arc. We know the angle is 25 degrees, and we know this arc over here, this bigger arc, is 83 degrees. What we want to find out is x. Well, the first thing is always is you write down your equation. The angle on the outside is equal to the bigger arc, arc 1, okay? We'll call that arc 1, minus arc 2, all divided by 2. So what we know is our angle, so we're going to plug that in. So our angle is 25 degrees, okay? And we also know our bigger arc, which is 83 degrees. What we don't know is this arc. So arc 2, we don't know. And we're going to divide that by 2. Man, I hate when that happens. We're going to divide that by a 2. Now, if you remember from the earlier part of the lesson, the way we can get rid of this 2 is by multiplying both sides by 2. That gets it right out of there. So let's take this and we're going to multiply both sides by 2. When we do that, these 2's cancel, which makes it a little easier, and we just have to multiply these 2. So we get 50 degrees is equal to 83, and I know I screwed that up, minus x. Well, solving from here, please follow along with me. Let's extend that page. We're going to subtract 83 from both sides, okay? And we get negative x, because this cancels out, equals to negative 33. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'll tell you, if both of these are negative, what you could do is just make both of them positive. Basically, multiply both sides by negative 1. So it's the same thing as saying x equals 33. And that is your answer, 33 degrees. Let's take a look at one more. I know. Let's do one more together. Oh, that's for you. You do that on your own. I'm going to take a look at this one. We're going to try to find our angle over here. Well, once again, the angle, let's write out our formula. If we're looking for the angle, we just say that it's arc 1 minus arc 2, all divided by 2. So to find out our angle, our bigger arc, remember we always look for our bigger arc first, is 140 degrees. Okay? We subtract that from our smaller arc, which is 50 degrees. And we divide that by 2. So our angle, in this case, is going to be 140 minus 50 is 90 degrees, divided by 2. And so our angle is equal to, do it for me, say it out loud. I want you to say it. All right, I'll beat you. 45 degrees. And that is, yeah. And so we know this angle is 45 degrees. Okay, if you look up here, that's for you. Just remember to write your formula first. The angle equals arc 1 minus arc 2 divided by 2. And plug in what you know. Arc, angle. Where it goes where? I don't know. Okay, this is your final one. Okay? This is what happens when you have an angle, when the vertex is on the circle, like this. Okay? So what happens when our vertex is on the circle like this? Well, there's 2 ways we could write our formula. All right? We know that the angle is equal to the arc divided by 2. So in this case, like, let's look. I'm trying to find the measure of EFH. EFH. Okay? EFH. If I want to find this angle right here, since I'm looking for an angle, I know it's just the angle, which I don't know, so I'm trying to find the angle. It's just going to be equal to the arc divided by 2. And the arc is right here. It was kindly given to us as 130 degrees. And we just divide that by 2. So the angle right there is going to be equal to 65 degrees. Boom. Let's look at this guy. This is a little different. We're trying to find the measure of arc GF. Well, first let's find GF. GF is this guy right here. We're trying to find this arc. Now, we know that the formula arc is equal to 2 times the angle. Okay? We know it's equal to 2 times the angle. Now we know that this angle right here is what? Well, I didn't anticipate this, but if this is 122, this angle over here, and we're looking for the angle on the other side, we have to do 180 minus 122 to find this angle. That will give us 58 degrees. So I know this is 58 degrees. So to find the arc, I'm going to have to do 2 times 58 degrees, which gives me the arc is going to be equal to 116 degrees. So just remember, these are your 2 formulas. If you're looking for the angle, if you're looking for this angle, it's going to be your arc divided by 2. On the other hand, if you're looking for the arc, it's going to be the angle times 2. All right, kids, just remember, always be good to animals, be true with yourself, and follow your heart to your dreams. That's it for this time. See you on the next lesson.